Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I have a special announcement. I am going to be working with Scrappy Tails products for the next couple of weeks on my channel. And I am so honored. I absolutely love Sabrina over at Scrappy Tails. I used to watch her YouTube channel and was so honored to be able to support her as a customer when she started her business back in the fall of 2020. And I'm so excited for her. So she's a card maker just like us, and I love it. I picked out this home furnishings set to start off with because I needed some cards for friends who have moved. And I just loved it. I've been wanting more furniture in my craft room, like in my stamp collection. So this one was definitely calling to me. Okay, I'm going to share a little hack with you guys. So I line up my stamps according to the grid and measure it. And with this one, for instance, I knew I needed like a 3¼ inch strip to get everything stamped out. And I can easily get 3 of these per 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And that way they fit really lovely in the die cutting machine and you get the most out of your paper, I feel like. So this is a hack I've used quite a bit for years. I have a big kick. I recently did get the Platinum Spellbinders die cutting machine, which is 8.5 by 11. But I still employ this technique. So I'm using Gina K today. And I'm also going to pull in 2 other inks. I pull in this MFT, I think that was Slate, that was pretty fast, and Craft. And I was basically just wanting these images in a variety of colors. So it's very subtle. I'll pull it up so y'all can see. It's subtle, but they are different. I had started off by using alcohol markers to color, and I just wasn't enjoying it, to be honest. So I got my trusty watercolors out. This is just what I love to do. I love to watercolor my images. And so that is what I did. I'll just leave a little in for you guys. I'm no expert. I really just play and have fun with my watercolors, but you can really build up shadows and depth with them, just like you would do with alcohol markers. So I am using in this video Accent Opaque 100-pound cardstock. So this is not watercolor cardstock. I've been having pretty good luck with this cardstock so far. I usually use Spring Hill Digital index cardstock, but I've been trying this one out just because it's thicker and I like really thick and ephemera. All right, so I did get the dies, which I'm super excited about. I'd colored these up in 2 different color schemes, kind of a really bright and a subtle, and then I die cut them with my die cuts, and look, I love the detail it cuts between all the legs of that furniture. Just really, really nice. Beautiful, beautiful die cuts. Even this one around the candles on the mantle, just beautiful. So I kept those separated in 2 different piles since I kind of had 2 different color schemes going on. And now I'm just going to do my own kind of embossing on this cardstock. Currently, as I'm doing this, it measures 4 by 5¼ but before I'm done with my project, it will measure 3.5 by 5¼ just so you guys know. But I'm kind of just going every 1/4 inch and adding a line so that I have a grid. I really wanted to do a clean and simple card, but most all of my clean and simple cards usually involve dry embossing like this. So now I have a nice grid pattern and I really liked the back of it. So that's what I'm going to use today. And for this first card, I keep things super simple. I'm really just going to bring in 3 of my ephemera pieces that I made with the stamp and die set. And I just think they're so precious. I really, really like this set. So I did bring in some Garden Party, which is a brand new Maggie Holmes collection. I got the washi tape, and I really wanted to use it. So I used this thin gold, which I thought really grounded these pieces nicely, but didn't take away from them. It was, for me, the perfect match. Now, if you're nervous about putting washi tape on your card, like it'll pill up, you can just put a little glue down. So I did that just to secure it so I know it's not going anywhere. So while I'm putting these things together, I want to talk a little bit about what's so exciting about this. So I mentioned that Sabrina is a card maker. She makes incredible box cards. She's sold thousands of them on Etsy, all handmade. And she started illustrating. Her grandmother is an artist, and they illustrate these sets together. Isn't that the sweetest thing? I just love that a grandmother and her granddaughter are working together to make something magical for all of us crafty people. You know, she started just like the rest of us, loving this hobby and is growing it into a business for her family. And I just think that that is precious and honorable. I am always excited to promote small businesses and women in business. And so I am just absolutely honored at the opportunity to use her products and represent her for the month of April and to get her name out and hopefully to you guys in case you haven't heard of her yet, and or maybe you've been seeing her stuff but haven't taken that plunge. So I'm just super excited about it. All right, I have the sentiment here, which I really liked the sentiments in the stamp set. And I'm just going to kind of cut this at an angle, and I'm going to keep kind of dolling up this card as I go because you guys probably know me and layers by now. I like layers. So even though this is a clean and simple design, I am still going to add a little bit more. So I'm going to bring back this washi tape. I just can't help myself. And then I really had wanted to use this one on the card. And so what I did is I worked it into my background back here. It was much too wide, I felt like, for the front little scene that I was building, but it worked perfectly in the background and ties in that mint colored paper for the sentiment really nicely, I felt like. So now everything makes sense. I am also, so I'm going to tape this down. And this gold and white washi tape has a sheen to it, like it's metallic gold. Really lovely. So I use a little bit more of that on my sentiment, actually. So I bring it in a third time, and I'm just adding it to the tip, the edge of the sentiment. Kind of working out here where I wanted it, and I decided that's exactly where I wanted it. So maybe guys, if you have a bunch of washi tape, this card might inspire you to get it out and put it on your cards. I know I have lots of washi tape. Ah, goodness. But I don't buy much anymore, and I do go through it pretty quickly because I use it in shipping my Etsy orders. So that's fun. All right, so I did decide to pop this up. I popped the sentiment up and I popped the fireplace up. And that, my friends, is how I did the outside of this card. I I really felt like with the sheen of the washi tape and all the fine details, it didn't need anything else. I did the inside of the cards. You'll see those at the end of the video. Okay, so next, of course, I wanted to create a little scene, another scene with these stamps. And so I laid out the ephemera, and then I brought in these pieces that make a frame, like a wood grain frame. There is a wood slimline die in her shop right now, but also, if you don't have any dies or you just have rectangle dies, you could cut out a frame like this with your dies, just using a larger one and then a smaller one in the center. All right, I brought in this masking tape and I forgot to kind of take some of the stick out of it, and I just stuck it down to my card 100% strength, and that was a little bit of a mistake because it tore my card some, but it's okay. Happy accidents, right? Because it forced me to go a different direction with the background for my scene, so it's all good. It's all good. So I just used just the slightest bit of a pale gray ink on the background here, and that is going to be the flooring of the room. And right there I decide, okay, I'm going to have to cut this off. I'm not going to be able to save it. I don't want it to force me to arrange furniture in a different way than what I already have it, because I liked what I had. Now I also distressed the frame with a little bit of blue ink, just to give it, enhance the details of the wood grain and give it a little something extra. This card is so soft and so subtle, but also has a lot of detail. I really am happy with the way this one came out. So I brought in the same mint cardstock that I had used in the first card, and that's going to be like the wall of the room, and the gray is going to be the ground, the floor. So I need to arrange these on here to determine how high up I want that gray to be on the mint. I get that figured out, and then I decide I want a rug. So I had this paper on my desk and grabbed it. I thought it was the perfect rug. Very boho, what I like in my house. So I just rough cut that. You guys saw that. I just kind of ruffle cut a rug for myself there. And now I'm just going to arrange and glue everything down. The only thing that I popped up on this card was actually the coffee table. And that was just to give it a little bit of spatial dimension. And it really does help the eye put this room in perspective. So I'm glad I popped it up. I think these sets have lots of possibilities. I use them in, I guess, what would be an expected way today, but I think you could use these stamp sets in an unexpected way. I think you could do a lot with them. They don't just have to be for like a new home. I think that they would go great if you were making like shabby chic designs or like vintage designs. Here I'm kind of doing something modern and clean and simple. I really think they lend themselves to a lot. And, I want to encourage you to go over and check out the Scrappy Tails shop. I'll have it linked below because there's so many unique sets that you just don't see on the market. For instance, she has a still life set that I thought was so clever and so fun, where you can do like a still life of fruits. It's very artistic, very cool, beautiful birds, hummingbirds. I have some big surprises for you guys of the next 2 videos that I will release over the next 2 weeks. some really cool things. So this is where we're starting, and I just really like the way these turned out. I'd love to hear what you think as well. Here's how I tackled the inside of each one. I mimicked that sentiment and carried it through. And then here is the second card. I put this on a gray cardstock because I really thought the contrast was nice. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.